Right. Now that we've got some stuff out of the way concerning some problems in the world and some unsettling news, we'll talk about this present that I got myself for Christmas. This is L.V.I shirt. Now, this is a 3XL regular, and it is large on me, but I always like to buy shirts like this large so that I can wear a wool sweater underneath them or whatnot. But the thing is, I got this one specifically because the 2X, and I'm thinking that these are just kind of, well, they seem to be sized kind of small, but I was thinking about this a bit ago. Now, because I saw this tag inside of the shirt, and it's a special tag. This is an archive series shirt. Now, I'm thinking that since people were smaller back then, the 3XL was for a smaller guy than what we are now. You know. Now it says the date of the first issue of this shirt from their archives was 1933. The original item name was the chamois cloth shirt. And yeah. So it's just some other things there, but I'm not. That's obviously. I mean, it's beans. It's stuff for Bean to know. Not really stuff to tell us, because they probably think, well, you're just buying a shirt, you know. Now, I really like this shirt, and I don't like a lot of Bean stuff anymore because they have gone downhill a bit. Back a number of years ago, they made this clown from Boston the CEO, and when he took charge, everything went downhill. Everything went to crap, and he started running that place like he owned it or something. He doesn't own it. I mean, they still have shareholders, blah, blah, blah. You know. Now, I spoke with Linda Bean. I spoke with her. There's a fly over here. I'm going to kill it. Die. See that? All you got to do is sneak up on them, and they can't fly away because they're asleep. So that one was asleep. I just killed it. Smush them like a fly. Alright, I'm not going to go into that. Talking about this shirt. Now, this shirt is quite large, but I wanted to have plenty of movement up in the upper arm area because of my chest and shoulders. Got plenty of room down here in the waist. Now, I could still put a medium weight sweater, jumper, whatever you like to call it, underneath this. So I got it. They call it chamois cloth, and what it is, it's brushed cotton. It's 100% cotton. And I would not use this for anything but, like, you know, going to visit family or something like that, you know, extended family. If I were to do that. But it is a nice shirt. They're probably only going to have them for a little while. So if you like this shirt, you should go out and get one. Of course, it's all outdoor scenes. It's loons and guys fishing, fly fishing, and fishing in general, and guys in canoes. And of course, they're all wearing LL Bean stuff, I'm sure. I'm just playing around, because who else's stuff would they be wearing, canoeing in that red canoe? You know, got a real wood oar, it says LL Bean, it's got LL Bean script here and there. Anyway, it's got all these different symbols. That looks like a trout getting pulled out of the water there. Yeah. So it's a nice shirt. And this is large enough in the neck that I can actually button it. Right? Having usually buy a 17.5, 18 neck on shirts that tell you a neck size. Now my neck is about 18. I mean, I'm pushing it with a 17.5, 18. But yeah. So I got the scarf here. Now, ever since I made this super ultimate scarf, right? Ever since I sewed two army scarves together, man, this has been good. Yesterday I wore it, and the wind was blowing and cold. Well, cool, and it was great. Then I got this. This is a Filson hat. It's 50% wool and 50% acrylic. I got this mostly because of the color. I thought this would go well with my outdoors endeavors. And my head. I'm a hot-blooded person anyway. I'm very, I give off a lot of heat. And so I don't necessarily need 100% wool on my head, although I like to have 100% wool if I can. It's not always possible. I mean, so many people have gone away from wool in the past 50 years. They've gradually moved away from wool. I mean, they're starting to go back to wool. They really are, because they've figured out that, hey, we made a mistake, So, expect to see more wool. So this is the shirt. This is my Christmas present, and I don't care that I'm not going to wait for Christmas. I don't have to. But this is my Christmas present, and wasn't cheap. Wasn't. It's like $90. That's right. So yeah, wasn't cheap, but it wasn't a $510 wool Mackinaw coat, double Mackinaw coat from Stormy Cromer. It wasn't that. So figure, well, $90. That's okay. I mean, it's expensive for a cotton shirt, in my opinion, but it does feel nice, and it does make a good outdoorsman's dress shirt. Somebody saw me in this. They said, "Yeah, that's you all. That's all over you right there. That's you." I was like, "Yep, that's me. Forever, the outdoorsy person. Forever the outdoorsman. In one way or another." Also has a couple of extra buttons. It has one sleeve button, and it also has one extra button for here in the center. Now, I'm very much a coffee person. Very much. I love coffee. If I ever saw a doctor, and I don't go to doctors. I don't care. I'm gonna die when I die. Jesus will take me when He wants to take me. That's how long I'll live. I will live as long as Jesus wants me to live, and I will expire. Okay? So I don't go to doctors. I don't go to the hospital. If I have something that I need to handle that might require to go to the hospital, like stitches, I do it myself. I got kits. You know, stitch yourself up, be done with it. Keep it clean. Take the stitches out when they need to be taken out. That's it. So I stitched this buddy of mine up one time, and I gave him clear instructions. You know, don't take these stitches out for at least a couple of weeks. You gotta, keep it clean and blah blah blah. And he took the stitches out, and he says, in another week, he says, there wasn't even a scar. He says, you should have been a surgeon. 12 years is too long. I think that's just for doctor to become an MD and learn nothing, because, they only treat symptoms. They don't treat the cause. They only treat the effect. All right, well, I got off on a tangent there. I was talking about coffee. Somehow I got onto stitches and stuff. But I want to talk about this tea. This tea, of all things. I do enjoy some tea every now and then, but I'm not a big tea drinker. I love my coffee. Occasionally I'll have tea. I call it flavored water. But why am I talking about this tea if I'm not even a tea person? What's the big deal about it? In general, you'll get some tea, and you will either measure out some tea into a tea ball, which is a stainless steel ball, strainer type ball, and then dunk it in your water, right? Let it steep. Or you'll get tea bags, throw that in the water and kind of, jig them around a bit like you're fishing, right? And you put that thing in the water, and the water will still be clear. The water will still be clear, and you'll be like, man, this is like this is a rip-off, because all I'm drinking is hot water with a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of tea coming out into the water, and I don't have an hour to wait for it to get done doing whatever it's doing. I don't have that kind of time. I don't have time to waste like that. But I got this tea. Let me tell you something. This tea is worth buying. It's worth buying, okay? And I'm going to tell you where to get it, all right? This tea is wild Maine blueberry, and it's from the Bar Harbor Tea Company, Bar Harbor, Maine. It's completely organic. Wild Maine blueberries, elderberries, currants, hibiscus, rosehip, blackberry, the natural flavor coming through from the combination of all those things, right? It says here, it says steep 4 to 7 minutes in boiling water. Now, I never start with boiling water because it's just too darn hot. Now, I know that that's supposed to help to release what's in the tea bag. I know that. But I make it very hot. I make it very hot. It's steaming hot to where, you really don't want to start drinking it immediately anyway. But you put the tea bag in there, and you immediately see it turn blue from the blueberries and other stuff. Bluish purple. You immediately start seeing it. And, within 10 seconds, the whole cup is a blue, purple, looking color. It's not like, you know, where is it, you know, is there anything going on here? It's not like that. You immediately see it, and you just start dunking it, and you could use the same tea bag for 2 or 3 cups. It'll last that long. So, it smells great too. You could smell those Maine blueberries in there, because it was sealed here. Smells really good. So anyway, yeah, Bar Harbor, Maine is where this comes from. Don't buy them all out off the shelf now, because I want to get some more. This is barharbortea.com. Alright? And this is wild Maine blueberry fruit tea. Yeah. Get some. And for my friends across the pond, get some. I don't know if you're still having to pay tariffs or not, but if China ain't paying no tariffs, our friends and cousins and relatives over there in, you know, Scotland, England, Wales, and Ireland, they shouldn't have to pay no tariffs. I mean, they have backed us for a very long time. They have backed us in everything. So, yeah. They shouldn't have to pay any tariffs. Europeans, on the other hand, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just having a go, you know, having a little bit of fun there. Still the same oil. Haven't put any more in it yet. Still the same oil. I don't even know how many videos I have been running this lamp. Had to count them up, I guess, to kind of figure out how much time I've been burning on this one tank. This is called the Dietz 8-Day. Now there's 2 versions of this. There's a round font and there's a square font. Now, I read somewhere where the square font was later, or earlier. But that doesn't make any sense. So, that the square font was in the early 1930s, and the round font was in the mid to later 1930s. But that, to me, that does not make any sense. I don't know where they got that information. It wasn't directly from the company, obviously, but because what makes more sense is that they started with the round one and said to themselves, "Hey, self, this would be better in a square font because it won't move around when you're hanging it on the wall," right? Because this is designed to be hung on the wall, right? It's got a position to hang it on the wall. See that? So that way it leans against the wall, and the round doesn't make as much sense as square. So it would make more sense that the round would be the earlier version, the round font. But, you know, I don't have any empirical evidence for that, guys. So, anyway, turn that off. That's how you turn these off. You just turn them down until the flame goes out, and then you turn the wick back up. And then when you want to, you know, start it again, it's ready to go. All right, fellas. Catch you later. Have a good one.